Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach, and you're tuned in to Madden 19 on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got what should be an interesting matchup between the Indianapolis Colts and the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Sunshine State in TIAA Bank Field here in Jacksonville. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Indianapolis Colts and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Alongside my partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you look at this Jaguar team. They come in playing pretty good football. Winners of 4 of their last 6 games.
And this coaching staff has to be pleased with how their defense played last week. They held their opponents to 3 points, and that was it. If they get anything comparable to that performance, this one's in the bag.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Colts, they're hitting their stride of late. Winners of 3 of their last 4. And he'll be brought down here as the penalty flags come in right away. And we may have a face mask here right at the start.
Face mask. Defense.
So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. Now Foles. Hauled in by Anderson, left side. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam down.
Now Leonard Fournette, and nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4.
And Brandon, every running back wants to use their speed in order to get out in front of things. Sometimes you just have to be patient, let blocks develop. On that play, that didn't happen.
Foles. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 13 yards on his first catch. It's a 1st down as well. They go play action here on 1st down. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
On the ground, this is T.J. Yeldon. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. There with the tackle, Dietrich Wise Jr.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
There's Foles. And he finds Safarian Jenkins. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A good pickup there of 22.
Well, from an offense's perspective, that sure was pretty because the corner route, it's extremely difficult to defend from my perspective.
What we just saw there, is that sort of the evolution of the tight end position?
Yeah, I think it is because more and more, tight ends are being treated like wide receivers. These are some agile players who can make a play in any spot on the field.
It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Steps away to his left. He'll wind up getting 4 there on his own, but it will leave him now with a 3rd down situation.
And him running the football is not something that defenses spend a lot of time preparing for. But this guy has a survival instinct and a knack for knowing when exactly to do it.
8th play of this opening drive coming up. This is 3rd down. They'll set up to throw. This is caught. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
His passing's been on point on this drive, hasn't it? Been very accurate, gotten the ball downfield, gained nice chunks of yardage. But now, in this situation, the field is really condensed, partner. So if he's going to throw the football, that have to be pinpoint here.
I was going to ask you about that. Field shrinks, has to be sharper, but it's been a good opening drive so far.
Now they just want to see if they can cap it off with the bell ringer and put it in the end zone. Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
He'll get it up the middle. And that'll move him a little closer as he takes it from the 7 down to the 4-yard line.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball in this drive and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
They'll set up a throw. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Jacksonville. In for the score. And the Jags have taken the early lead. Looking sharp on that first drive. These guys, of course, coming off back-to-back victories, and you see that kind of advancing into this game, don't you?
You certainly do, and when you have a team that doesn't get too full of itself, even though they've won 2 games in a row, you get the end result that we saw there, that nice opening drive, because they're sharp, they're focused, and they're locked into everything that they're doing.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Dante Fowler in on the stop.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
And nearly an interception here on their opening drive. But instead, 3rd down. Charles, already trailing by touchdown early. This offense, how imperative is it for them to get points out of this drive?
Well, they feel like they have to go ahead and match because of what was already on the board against their defense. But I think even more so, you just want to avoid 3 and outs. You want to be able to stay on the field for a little while, let your defense catch their breath a little bit, even if you don't score any points.
And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well.
And 3rd down is a key down in any game you play. And 3rd down defense, something we've got to watch in this one. Got to be effective on the passing downs. That's a pretty good first step right there.
That'll go as a 39-yard punt. Give him 9 on the return. And the Jaguars go on offense, 1st down and 10. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. They'll start out on the ground. It's Leonard Fournette. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. The rushing numbers for Fournette from last week, 19 carries, 68 yards.
He's having a nice season, and he knows where he ranks in the league. Don't ever let a running back tell you that they don't know that. They do. So what he's doing now is lobbying the offensive coordinator all week long. Hey, how about a few more touches? He's one big game away from maybe leading the league.
He'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. 25 yards, the pickup there, and also a 1st down.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Fournette, a 1st down carry. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. It's a 6-yard pickup, but it gets him to 2nd and 4. Getting the sense, Charles, they're going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
On second down, here's Fournette. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he gets the first down yardage he needs before he's brought down at the 6. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
It's a nice job hitting him on the angle route there. Come out of the backfield, cutting sharply across the middle. And that's good timing between the quarterback and his receiver.
Effective 3rd down play to move the chains. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. A good run of 6 yards there. Gets him closer to the goal line with 2nd down coming up. When we talk about being on schedule, I think they're on schedule after that run, getting it right down there on the doorstep. Maybe even a little bit ahead, because now the defense can't dictate with pressure. They're guessing about where you're going to go. I might come alongside the former defensive back Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Jaguar football as we begin quarter number 2. And they'll come up looking to keep this drive moving. They'll try to punch it in with Yeldon. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air? I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is the time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4-down territory. Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see? Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out. And forces 4th down. A good drive gets them inside the 5, but they could not punch it in. And credit the defense, too. Make sure that happens, because that was the old bend but don't break approach. Made sure they contained them when they absolutely had to and forced the field goal attempt that went through. Here comes the Colts offense now as they make their way onto the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football. Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive. They need points. Big time. Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It's way too tight. Unable to find anyone open. Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10. A 2nd down throw for Brissett. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. It'll be a gain of 9, and that is going to set up a 3rd and 1. And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving. That's a tremendous group effort there, because when you talk about offensive lines, the best ones, talk about guys that play in harmony, in sync, and getting things done, and they did that on that play. Yeah, especially on 3rd and 1. Got to be in sync, and they were. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Ohio! Flex round! Flex round!
Now a play fake here on 1st down. He's going to air one out. It's caught at the 10. Touchdown, Indianapolis. A big play there. His 9th touchdown of the season. And the Colts able to get this back within a touchdown. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Jags and Leonard Fournette making their way onto the field. And he's sure looking like a lock for a 1,000-yard season. Don't know if he's going to get it in this game, but he'd probably like to just to get past that point.
Yeah, and if he doesn't, as you noted, there's still time, still opportunity. There's still more games to be played. So, yeah, it's not a lock. But barring injury, it certainly looks like he's going to get there. And what an accomplishment that is. Anytime you get over 1,000 yards, you're celebrated in the NFL.
It's been quite a season. Still a couple chapters left in that book, though. Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And complete over the middle, Safarian Jenkins. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. That'll go as a loss of 5. And it'll make this a 2nd and long.
Wow, that play got shut down in a hurry.
As soon as the snap came, you could see defensively they were just closing in. That was going nowhere.
Yeah, you count on your offensive line to give you a little bit of space, a little bit of time so you can make a move. There was none there for him.
And he tried to bounce it outside, but they'll stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. He came out ready to play. That's 3 tackles for a loss, Charles. We're only in the 2nd quarter.
And that's problematic for the guys trying to run offense because that means he's got a pretty good idea of what they're doing and is actually beating them to the point of attack and making those plays. Might have to think about some misdirection or something to try and get him away from the ball.
And this one is incomplete.
And I feel like my man, Old Mo, momentum might be changing jerseys right now. How about what they just got done? They scored a touchdown their last drive. Now here's a 3 and out. Maybe momentum's getting ready to creep to the other sideline.
As the Colts offense makes their way out, we take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC. And I tell you, 4 weeks still to go, and everything is wide open, and it's fun.
And I know we always talk about, well, if the playoffs were to begin today, and then we kind of go, okay, but they're not. Let's see how it plays out. Wouldn't it be fun to play with this playoff lineup right now? Because to me, just about anyone can win this whole thing out of this grouping we currently have. And by the time we get there, it may look entirely different.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
Brissett on 1st down. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Indianapolis moving the chains there on a gain of 12.
They ran that one well, and not only did they pick up a nice chunk of yardage on the screen, they sent a message to the defense. Rush the passer all you want, but you better be careful. We can hit you going back the other direction.
Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Flex round! Flex round!
Nyheim Hines, his first carry. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. A 14-yard gain for Indianapolis and also move the sticks.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
So in Jacksonville territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 46. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to get forward for about 5, but that may be coming back. What say you, Mr. Referee?
Holding offense.
That hold coming from the middle of the line, the center.
And it's difficult for him because sometimes you've got people right over you, and as soon as you snap it, trying to get your hands up and block them, you can be a little bit late getting it done.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Play action now, Brissett. And he'll toss this one incomplete. Seeing no options, he throws it away.
But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. From the shotgun, it's Brissett. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And they went for a big play through the air on 2nd down. Couldn't connect. Now it's 3rd.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Seventh play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down.
Flex round! Flex round!
Off the play fake, here's Brissett. He finds Coleman. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. A minute 57 to go in this first half. Back with more from Jacksonville. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Now they try the right side here. And he's going to get this one down to the 30. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Ohio! Ohio!
A 2nd down throw for Brissett. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Dante Fowler in there to get him, and that's sack number 12 for him on the year. You never want to give up a sack. And from the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform with no grass stains, no dirt, nothing on it. But it's really, really difficult. You're talking about some terrific athletes who are trying to put him on the ground.
Ohio! Ohio!
On play action, Brissett. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down.
Holding offense.
So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now, that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
And Zerline's kick is good. And that will tie things up as we head toward halftime. A dozen plays on that drive that ends with the field goal.
Let's go ahead and break out some of the old chestnuts here, right, partner? Keep the ball in front, rally to it, and make the tackle, right? No big plays given up, no balls over your head. Bend, don't break.
Hold on. Chestnuts?
You like
Come
that
on.
one?
What does that mean, break out? That just because you break chestnuts?
I'm not sure about that, but I'm just going with why they said that. I have no idea.
180!
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And the catch made here by Marquise Lee. And nothing but green grass here, middle of the field. Touchdown, Jaguars. Marquise Lee, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Jaguars are able to strike quickly for 6.
And that touchdown gives them a touchdown lead before they attempt the extra point. What a great way to end the half.
Yeah, great job to put themselves in front. And now, see on the sideline, special teams defense scrambling, saying we want to preserve this for the final moments of this second quarter. Extra point up and good by Bailey. And that makes it a 17-10 score. Bailey now to kick this one away. This one taken from the 7.
Now that's the kind of return you're looking for. To get to that spot on the field, that allows you to do a lot of things on offense.
Works their way back onto the field. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Trying to lay one up deep. And nearly picked off. Surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away. But it does get away and it's second down. But the passing game right now for them, not overly impressive. Last week he hit on right at 50%. This week he's under 50%.
And it's not just on him. Protection, a few breakdowns along the way that's made him get off the spot. Receivers not getting their way open downfield. The coverage has been awfully tight. They've got to all get together and find ways to make this passing game get in gear.
The Colts on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. From the gun, here's Brissett. It's complete to Grant. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line, tackled there. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. Brissett to throw on first. He's going to air one out. And this will be incomplete. 1 second left to go. On now is the big leg of Greg Zuerlein. He has hit from as far as 61 away in his career. They'll spot it at the 47, so call it a 57-yard attempt. So we hit the halftime break here in Jacksonville with the Jags on top. As we send you a couple hours south of here to Orlando, that's where we check in with a coach and our EA Sports halftime report.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you and Charles in a bit. But first, let's get to some of these scores around the NFL here in a busy Week 14. We'll start up in the Pacific Northwest at CenturyLink Field in Seattle. And as you see, they were winners back on Thursday night. 13-3, the final score. From there, we head east to Detroit to check on the Lions at home at Ford Field. And they have the lead in that one over the visiting Philadelphia Eagles. The Lions locked in a tight one, but this is a game you feel they've got to have.
All right, hang on. We'll jump over halftime. Bailey now to kick this one away. This will be fielded at the 8. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Out come the Colts. They'll have it first here to start quarter number 3. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors. But overall, I think they wanted to be positive with him. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the third one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
Brissett now on second down. Buying time to his left. And he'll slide down to avoid the contact. 8 yards that time, able to take off, and the result is a first down.
Offensively, they liked their situation, so they tried to take a shot downfield, but no one was open. So it was tuck it in run time, and he picks up a first down.
Flex round. Ohio.
First down, Brissett. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. They'll run it now out of the gun. And an alley to run. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. It'll be a pickup of 13 on the play. And it'll be third down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Hasn't had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great one.
And at the 7-yard line, the catch is made. And he does take it in for the touchdown, but a flag on the field, and I don't think this is going to stand.
Yeah, don't put the points on the board just yet.
Holding offense.
Would have put him in the lead, but hold that thought.
Yeah, the celebration had to stop, didn't it? Because now you're on a real uptick. You're in the lead. Instead, you're still behind. Have to find a way to regroup.
Play fake, Brissett. And he fires one that's intercepted. A.J. Boye with a pick. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. Very good starting field position for the Jaguars offense as they come up 1st and 10. False start's going to push him back, but these days, how hard must it be to be an offensive lineman?
It's very hard, Brandon. You've got defensive linemen flinching, trying to draw you offside. You've got the loud crowds, and there are just so many super athletic players on defense now that you have to deal with each week. But through it all, these guys just sit in there for 4 quarters and slug it out.
The false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Now Foles. Lee's got it over the middle. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards, and it'll make it 2nd down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. Emmanuel Ogbah there on the stop.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
They'll try and run for it with Fournette. And he is going to lose yardage here. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
And now Indianapolis set to take the field. And both of these defenses have been stifling these last few drives offensively. Just not able to get anything going. So what needs to change?
I think a lot of the guys will go back and review, so to speak, because everyone has someone assigned to how did each play work. Okay, what did we use that kind of worked for us during this game? Try and get back to some of those plays, as well as the possibility of showing something you haven't shown already in this game and trying to change things up.
We'll see if they take the advice of Mr. Davis. From the 26, they'll line up on 2nd and 4. 2nd down, Brissett. He's going to rifle one deep left. And got his man complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. Give him 30 yards there. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
And he's going to take it down to about the 35 here. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
And he'll be taken down at the 34. He could muster only a yard there, and they'll be left with a 3rd and very short. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
Call it no gain on the keeper, and it's going to bring up a 4th down.
They gain nothing, and all they need are inches. Usually we put this on the offensive line, but sometimes it's the quarterback's fault as well on the sneak. You've got to get low and burrow.
Usually we talk about O-line surge, their D-line surge leading to 4th. He's got 9 points on field goals now. He's made 3 of them. That gets him a bit closer, but there's no question they need to start turning some of these 3s into 6s.
And for him, it's not his concern, right? He just goes out there when they call on him and goes ahead and puts points up on the board. But the offense has got to get together and figure out what's stalling their drives, so they have to keep calling on him.
They'll start out on the ground. It's T.J. Yeldon. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. Past the 20. Touchdown, Jaguars. Austin Seferian-Jenkins, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Jaguars add 6 to their lead. When they drew that up, I don't think they envisioned it ending in a house call, but he got it and took it all the way home.
Really impressive run after the catch, wasn't it? That was really special by him. But let's face it, in today's NFL, those tight ends are often former wide receivers or maybe even sometimes bigger running backs. They just put them in a position to get a great matchup and make plays like that.
And not a bad return. Here he gets it out to the 25-yard line. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. Right off the bat, it's a first down to start the drive, 12 yards.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
On 1st and 10, Brissett. And his throw is going to be incomplete. Eric Ebron, the big tight end, his intended target. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. Throwing again, Brissett on 2nd and 10. He's going to go for a big play downfield. This is caught at the 20. And he'll get this way down into Jacksonville territory. A big play there for Indy. 43 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll make it second and a foot or so.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch pass.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Indianapolis. A great play there with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Colts are a 2-point conversion away from tying this football game. And there you go. Nothing really too complex. Block, keep to your assignments, let them run it in. They did.
Fundamental football.
And this is going to be intercepted. Picked by Ronnie Harrison. And nothing but daylight ahead. The 40, 20, 10. And he takes it all the way back. It's a pick 2, if you will, as that play backfires in a big way. Well, that was almost a 4-point swing. The interception, if he had returned it all the way, would have been 2 for them, but just a little bit shy.
And when it's a play like that, you're exactly right with the math. But don't you feel like it would have counted for more if they found their way all the way back to the end zone and gotten the 2? That changes the whole momentum, doesn't it?
Trying to get the run game going. This is Fournette. And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this game. Back now in Jacksonville. It's Jaguar football here, and they'll look to extend their lead as we begin quarter number 4. Again, it's Fournette. The gain of 4 that time as the drive continues. And I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
And he'll grab a gain of 5 out of this up to the 41-yard line. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
An excellent pickup of 34 yards. Now from Colts territory, here's a 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Caught, Safarian Jenkins, right side. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. They go back to the ground now with Fournette, and they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs. How about this offensive line? They're really starting to establish themselves, take over this game.
And before the series began, I know exactly what was said in the defensive huddle. Guys, we got to get no less than a 3 and out. Let's get off the field. Instead, they can't find any traction towards doing that. Right now, they're just getting muscled all over the field and getting pushed down it.
Foles. And he's got it. And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. First down, Jacksonville. The passing game looking sharp on this drive for the Jags. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me. I'm going to keep firing.
And this is going to be caught? No, they say it's incomplete.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense.
Trailing in the fourth, this close of a game, that's a penalty you just can't afford.
It's an absolute killer, and it's one that drives coaches and teammates insane.
So the ball's moved to about the 1 after the penalty, 1st and goal. And he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage, back at the 6. He lost 6 there on the first down play.
It's not a bad idea. Set up in the gun. Send a bunch of guys out wide and let the defense think you're going to try and put one in the end zone. But here, the draw play just gets bottled up from the start, and he'll wind up losing yardage.
2nd and goal from the 6 this time. Here's Foles. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Get your backs to the goal line. I can hear my high school coach right now. This is when force meets force. Got to be physical in order to win this battle.
Yeah, that's where the physicality pays off. A nice job forcing the contact and forcing the incompletion.
Yeah, Coach Ford would have loved that play.
And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. Their passing game has been spectacular this afternoon. Finally, a win for the defense.
You think maybe there was an adjustment there. Finally gained a measure of, I don't even know if you call it revenge, but got a play done against him, and that's been difficult for them all game long.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he'll find some space up to about the 25. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Here's a 2nd and 5 now from the 25. They'll run it now out of the gun. And some room to roam now. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. That one for Indianapolis, resulting in 15 yards and a fresh set of downs.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run. Got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through 3 quarters. No reason to lighten up now. A first down throw for Brissett. Brought in over the middle by Grant. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. A gain of 6 there on first.
That's tough to play zone defense when they can just curl up right there in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we talk about finding the soft spot. Defensively, how do you make sure they don't find the soft spot like they did there?
Tough to do, because what they normally will do is run routes that'll pull you out of that spot they want to get into. That's what we call not taking.
And it's intercepted. Picked up by Jalen Ramsey. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Oh, incomplete. A turnover would have really helped there. Almost intercepted. Instead, it's just 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Here's a give to Fournette. And he goes across the 20 to the 22. It'll be a pickup of 5, and that leaves him with 5 more. 3rd and 5 now. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football.
And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Jared Davis. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. That's now his second interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatility and showing those hands. Now a handoff looking right. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. A big hitter there, a first down gain of 26 yards.
Another carry for their leader and a good one. It's crunch time. They'll need him to continue to be productive in both the run and passing game in order for them to try and snatch a victory.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And they're going to get him down, but not before a pretty good run right there. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
So the Colts in possession of the football as we get you reset. They come up on a 2nd down now in a game that looks like it's going to go down to the wire.
Flex round.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
Well, when you're leading in the 4th quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all. And now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
So the ball's moved to about the 1 after the penalty, 1st and goal. They'll run it now out of the gun. And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down. Only a yard on the pickup there, 2nd and goal.
Well, Brandon, we always know that once you score 1 touchdown,
you're 2.
You're without a doubt. And so far today, he's got 1, but was denied as he tried to get the 2nd one.
It's a quarterback sneak. And he takes it in for a Colts score. Jacoby Brissett, his 2nd TD of the game and 18th of the year. And the Colts have taken the lead here in the 4th.
Wow, I know it's a never-say-never situation, but to me, that looks like that's the one that's going to finish them off.
The score that puts them in front here late, but now you got to rally your kick team, don't you, and say the last thing we need is a big return.
And what happens is guys get overeager, get out of their lane because they're so excited they want to make the last tackle. You mess up, could come back at you a long way.
Nick Foles gearing up again here to go on offense. This is something we've seen many times over the course of his career. Can he pull off another 4th quarter comeback?
And it's very strange, isn't it? Because when it's a player of this magnitude, even though the guys on defense have the lead and are sitting in the best spot, they're maybe the most nervous people in the stadium because they've seen this happen to too many people before.
And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Counting down toward a minute to go in this football game. He's back to throw. Throw left side complete to his receiver, Westbrook. And now prior to this 3rd and 1, we're going to get a timeout here. As the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in quarter number 4. The Jaguars on 3rd down. They've hit on half of them, 5 for 10. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. He'll look to throw. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. And now before they run this 4th down play, we're going to get a timeout. As the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in the 4th. 1 score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. They'll look to throw. Open man is Westbrook, complete. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. They keep the game alive, at least for the moment, as it's a first down. And he'll spike it with exactly 30 seconds now left on the clock. Back to throw. And he can't corral it. That would have wrapped it up if he'd been able to hold on. Instead, it brings up third down. The way he's thrown the football today, almost a surprise when he doesn't complete a pass like happened there, but he needs a few more to get his guys downfield.
Well, the way he's thrown it leads him to believe that he's going to get those completions. And that means the guys going out for passes, they'll run even harder because they expect it as well.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
Back to throw. That's into the hands of Westbrook over the middle. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. He got 29 yards that time. And now he stops it with a spike at 8 seconds. And that one falls incomplete. And now, look at the clock. Only 7 seconds remain. So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. And here come the whistles and a timeout with 7 seconds left. So now one of the biggest kicks of the night is forthcoming. This to potentially send us to overtime. And the 10-year vet knocks it through the goalpost. And they will tie this game here in the final seconds. So a money kick there in the final seconds. And now, barring any hijinks on the kickoff here, partner, I think you and I, we're going to settle in for a little overtime.
And I wouldn't have it any other way. This has been a dogfight all through regulation. No reason to think it won't continue in the extra period.
Brissett looks to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And did the Jaguars come up with it? They did. And here in overtime, if the team that receives the ball scores a touchdown, it's over. If they don't, we can still have some more football.
That's exactly right. If they go down and kick a field goal, the other team gets a possession to either match it or score a touchdown to win the ball game. If both teams kick field goals, the next team to score wins. But if the receiving team throws a pick six or fumbles the ball and it gets picked up by the defense and they score, the game is over at that point.
This one fielded at the 5. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Now the Colts offense gets ready to head back on the field. Set for their first drive here in overtime. And this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, that gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team. And that first drive can dictate the whole thing because they know if this team takes it downfield and scores a touchdown, it's game over.
And it's been loud in here so far.
Holding offense.
So on the big tight end, holding.
Each and every year, we talk about very few tight ends coming into the league that are polished blockers or asked to do it a lot in college. So it's a constant struggle and a constant fight to learn how to do it without holding.
From the shotgun, it's Brissett finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. 13 yards there, offset some of the penalty yardage as it's second down. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him the football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are, you know, make someone miss in the open field. It's nice every now and then in this game not to see people overthink it. Just hand it to the old reliable guy. Let him pick up the first down.
Brissett on first down. He's going to wind up and air it out. So they took a shot on first down but couldn't connect.
One thing I know from experience is that when the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic that emerges. You've got to play the ball really well. It's a 50-50 jump ball play. And guess what? They took a shot. How are you going to win it? And in this case, they managed to get it done.
Flex round! Flex round! Ohio! Ohio!
A second down throw for Brissett. Going up top. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up third.
A lot of contact there, but there was no way it appeared that he was going to get a flag on that one. Looking for it, but he wasn't going to get it. And as an ex-defensive back, you love it when they let you play and jostle downfield.
In need of a 3rd and 10 conversion to keep this opening drive of OT alive.
Ohio! Ohio!
Out of the gun, Brissett. Over the middle, complete. That's Hines. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. A gain of 11 that time, and a Colts first down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
So in Jacksonville territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
And they'll go on the ground. And he'll take this one down to about the 40. Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a 3rd down.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things. But the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
Brissett on 3rd and 2. Flush to his right. And an alley to run. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped.
Holding offense.
So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
So following the holding call, what can they do here on 3rd and long?
Ohio! Ohio! Flex round! Flex round! Flex round! Flex round!
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. He'll rifle this one deep right. Got a man. It's caught inside the 10. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Partner, a great game that we got to see and making it extra special. Not only did I get 4 quarters with you in this one, I got some overtime, a little whipped cream on top.
Look at you, trying to make this whole thing palatable.
I just want you to pay for my meal later.
You really just wanted 4 quarters what you wanted, but how much fun was that? We had that type of a game where we got us to overtime, and then we get the dramatic ending to finish things off as well. What a game.
So for Indianapolis, Their very slim playoff hopes remain as they move to 6-7 on the year. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Houston to take on the Texans. Meanwhile, for the Jaguars,